Hey, 5th and 6th graders, it's Mrs. Fondra here. Now, I know you've been chomping at the bit, so to speak, to start a new project because printmaking has taken forever in person because we were gone a week and we were missing school and it was a mess. So you guys were done way faster than everybody else. So here is your next project that awesomely is even better if you take your time and really slow down so you can do a really awesome job at home. All right. My 6th graders this should be a little familiar to you, but my 5th graders, this is a new project entirely, which I'm excited about. And we're going to be working with Zen tangles for this project. As the name kind of implies, Zen, it's kind of like this meditative, calming type of a project, where you just repeat different lines, shapes, and patterns, these things that we talk about all the time in class, all right? You can very easily Google Zen triangle to see some examples, and that might help you along for this project. I'm going to be giving out a worksheet to students to look at to kind of give them ideas at home. But I will say, if I can easily recognize some of them that you're working on, and I quick Googled Zentangle and I can see you copied them exactly, you might lose a few points here and there because I want to see what you can come up with as you're kind of relaxing in the zone. All right. So we're going to be doing Zentangle robots this year, which is kind of two opposite kind of ideas because robots are very stiff and rigid, but Zentangle can tend to get a little more flowy and relaxed because it's so just calming. All right. So I'm going to show you how to start setting up a robot on your paper and how to get started with Zentangle. Okay. You're going to want a pencil to start with your robot. But eventually you will want to switch over to a pen or a Sharpie. Something with an ultra fine point would be the best. Even just like a normal pen that you might find around the house, a ballpoint, kind of clicky pen will do the trick. All right. So let me switch to my camera so you can kind of see my workspace a little bit better. All right. So, hey, Dwayne the Rock, how are you doing today? So here's my paper that I'm going to start with. You're going to want a bigger piece of paper. Oh my goodness, this cord's got to move. It's very annoying. You're going to start with a bigger piece of paper here, and we want to draw our robot pretty big, all right? Because you need room to work on your picture. So to start this really easy, I'm going to use a ruler. If you don't have an exact ruler, if you just use an edge of a book or a notebook, that's a great way to do a straight edge. So for my robot, I'm going to start with a big rectangle body. If you want to measure this and be exact, you can, but I'm just going to kind of guess and erase if I have to. So I'm going to start with my body in the middle, which I like rectangles. I think they make the most sense for a body, but you could do a square, you could do a hexagon, you could get really creative from here. And because you can make your robot look whatever you want to, I'm going to add a more squarish head, which is a different kind of box on top. Got a square. And then I'm going to do some arms and legs as well. So maybe to make things a little different, I'm going to do a rectangle arms with like triangles on the end for hands. Okay. It's really up to you. I'm not going to get super picky on how your robot looks. I am more interested on how you're going to fill your rectangles and your squares that you draw. Okay. I think, I'm going to do a little rectangle down at the bottom. You could even make this look a little three-dimensional if you want to. But that I will leave up to you if you're feeling like getting real fancy here. Okay, got my arms going. I'm actually going to fast forward a bit here, and you could pause the video if you're working on drawing right now to finish up your robot. All right, so we have a robot shape. I haven't added eyes or buttons or anything fancy because that's what my Zentangle is going to be about, filling the space. So from here, I'm still going to try to find a skinny Sharpie that usually I have on my desk. Here we go. And we're going to be filling each of these spaces of the robot. So an arm, the head, the body with different patterns. I'm looking for you to at least be doing 5 or more for getting full credit for this one. So if you're looking at ideas, you can start kind of finding an idea you like and going from there. But what I like to do usually, because I'm a doodler by nature, and I'm sure you've doodled before while you're listening in math and English and your other classes just drawing doodles, I like to kind of start from a corner and kind of building my way out and see what happens. So I might start with a simple square, and I might build off from there, make it bigger. And I'm not really super planning anything right now. I'm just adding stuff as I go. Okay, maybe I'm starting a little bit more geometric. Maybe from here, I'm gonna start adding some curly bits. All right. And honestly, it's a little difficult for me to talk while I'm doing this because I really want to focus on the swirls, on the lines, on the shapes that I can come up with from here. So this is happy to just get in your calm state, get in your Zen moment, all right? And if you want to switch between a thinner and a thicker Sharpie, that would probably be a great idea, or a thinner and thicker marker, because it is always interesting to add thin and thick lines to your piece instead of just sticking with just one. Maybe I want to do a couple of wavy lines here. Maybe my wavy line kind of melts into this shape I started over here. And it's really just about finding what works for you. Maybe do some thin lines again around here. All right. And I think I'll actually even post a video of the creators of Zentangle to maybe give you some more ideas. All right, I've kind of just zoned out and gotten involved with this drawing. So before I get totally sucked into this drawing, let me just finish it up here. We're making this really flowy designs and patterns and things happening on this robot. And it's really like right now, I'm almost like, I'm calm now. I just love zoning in and looking and just feeling the lines and the space. So you might find some ideas you like. Like I said, if you go on the internet and look for maybe some ideas, maybe you're like, I don't know where to start. It's a good place to kind of just look for Zentangle, but I really just want you to just dive in and kind of just like, well, if I did this line, what's gonna go on from here? There's no really right or wrong. The only thing I will notice that might look wrong is if you like scribble something out because you didn't like it. This project is all go with the flow. So if you draw something and you're like, oh, I don't know why I did that. Maybe just keep drawing that thing and build off of it, okay? It's good to probably do this in kind of a calm space if you can. So if there's screaming babies or barking dogs, maybe now is not the best time to work on this. These projects are always due by the end of the quarter, technically. So as long as they're turned in by the end of semester 1, which is in January, you should be good to go. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. I mean, this is a new project for everybody this year, so we're going to get all sorts of fun robots and creations. All right. So any questions, comments, let me know. These go on Artsonia when you're done. Don't forget to use some art vocabulary to talk about these. Probably talking about lines and shapes and patterns a lot, if I would guess. But any questions, email me or leave a comment. Happy creating.